Hi, moms and dads and anybody else, and welcome to Easy Nutrition for busy moms, dads, coaches, and well, whoever the heck else you are, and young athletes. But you know what? The principles here can apply to every single athlete. Here, I'll get right there. Oh, there you go. Oh, there's no more glare. To every single parent. So if we haven't met, my name is Denise Jelinek. I am a mom, a personal trainer, and a wife, and I love everything that's simple and healthy. I just don't do complicated. So if you like simple too, just stick with me. So a few housekeeping things for today. So for tuning in, I would like to give you a freebie. It is something super simple that I put together, and it's called label reading that your kids can do. If it's something that you think that you would like, just give me an email, deniseyourtrainer@gmail.com, or you can message me on Facebook at Denise Jelinek, and I'll make sure you get that. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, like your kids can do it. I'm certainly not expecting you to make your kids do it, but I wanted to encourage you that it is so simple that even your children can do it. Okay, the second thing is, who the heck am I, and why should you even be listening to me? Well, first off, I want to tell you that I am a mom. I have two boys. They are 11 and 14, and I have successfully raised these boys to be healthy, at least so far, despite busy schedules, living in America, because I always say we have a residential health hazard for living in the United States. What's healthy is absolutely not. What's normal is not what's healthy. I'm sure you would agree. And frankly, both of them had a pretty rough beginning to life, but more on that later. Both have had no more than 2 ear infections, and I've only seen one of my sons vomit from actually being sick. The other one was car sickness. And the second thing is that I have been part of the Juice Plus mission for over 12 years. And if you know anything about this community, that you know that we are super heavy on education and research. And I've been taught by leading medical professionals, nutritionists, and just frankly other parents, the impact of nutrition on the body. And so that's what I want to share with you. I love taking things simple and healthy, put them together, and make your life simpler. So enough about me. Who are you? Oh, I do want to let you know I'm a certified exercise physiologist, and I've been with the Juice Plus company. There you go. So by the time that we are done today, you will definitely know what causes your athlete to increase their nutrition need. I'm going to answer all of your questions about what are the best foods to eat, when to eat, hydration, protein powders, multivitamins, and supplements, do's and don'ts, and some shortcuts. I'll even give you some recipes, meal ideas, and recommendations. Anything else that you need from me, you can use my email or message me on Facebook. Okay, so let's rock this. Okay, one of your very first questions was, here's what your questions are. Is water or sports drinks best? When and what should my child eat before practice or game? What are some easy, healthy snacks and meals for on the go? And what about protein powders? We even talk about a multivitamin. So if those are any of your questions, please stick with me. We'll get to all of those answers. But before we do, let me set the foundation. The strongest lesson that you can teach your kids is how you treat yourself. Moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, and everybody else who's listening to this. They are watching you. So let me train you a little bit and give you some of the principles that I teach my wellness coaching clients. There are 3 principles that I teach. Please take these and internalize these into your own life. The first one is consider taking one step. So whatever your vision is for yourself and your best self, today decide to take one step towards that. Not a huge step, not 15 steps, just one step towards that. Is that maybe drinking a little bit more water? Is that maybe having more positive thoughts? One step. And know that consistency equals results. Positive or negative, consistency equals results. So we do day after day after day after day after day will add up. What we did last year at this time has an impact on who we are this year. And so I just want to encourage you that that one step multiplied over and over and over and over will have a wonderful, profound effect of moving you in the right direction. And finally, ask for help. I'm here. Whoever is showing you this video is here. We have an amazing amount of resources. In fact, I won't get into this, but we even have a lifestyle program called the Shred 10. It's 10 days to jumpstart your health, moms and dads. It's amazing for you. You can even have your family do it, but it is an entire community that once a month, every single month, we jumpstart our health. We really commit to taking some actions towards our best selves for 10 days. So if you'd like to be part of that community, just let me know. All right, so why does your athlete have a greater nutritional need than just the average child? Okay, so I'm going to geek out on you a little bit here, get a little sciencey, so I hope you can kind of just like stick with me on this. All right, so we have a normal cell in the body, and then we have different processes that occur, our metabolism, exercise, anything that creates oxygen. Okay, so when we put more oxygen in our body, we have a byproduct of that metabolism, and it's called a free radical, and that's the second slide right here. Those free radicals tend to attack the cells. Now, there is a way to get rid of those free radicals, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but let's say that you don't get rid of it. What happens to that cell being attacked by the free radical is it actually incurs something called oxidative stress, and that oxidative stress is essentially the beginning of all diseases. Okay. So let's talk about what creates these free radicals. So these are the different things that cause free radicals. Just, a few, and I'm sure there's many listed on here that I haven't gotten to. Drugs, antibiotics, cigarette smoke, even exposed to secondhand smoke, stress, mental or physical, viruses and bacteria, even being around Wi-Fi, household chemicals, alcohol consumption, excessive exercise, we'll get back to that, mold, radiation, pollution that's just in the air that you can't do anything about, processed foods, lack of sleep. Oh my gosh, aren't teenagers like the most sleep-deprived population ever? Toxins, and then the UV rays. Okay, so which one of these are you exposed to? If I look at me, these are the ones for sure, and then of course, excessive exercise, and we all know what's happening right now in the news. So I want you to take whatever is happening for your monkey, your little young athlete, your team if you're a coach, and it's not just one of these things that your athlete is exposed to, it's the accumulation. And so that is why your athlete has a greater nutritional need, because of all of the things that are coming into their bodies and then put on, and that's just normal living, and then put on top of that the training for a sport. Okay, so let's say that this does not get neutralized, right? I told you I'm going to tell you a way you can get rid of these free radicals, but let's say it doesn't. Well, let's look at all of the ways that this can actually have an impact on your health. So it affects every single darn system, right? Every tissue in the body, and you can just kind of take a peek at this slide. I did some red circles around some things that are most specific to my family, and that is with the brain, the ADHD and autism. Very specific to my family right now. So those are conditions that we have. So it's also very important for me to make sure that we keep our free radical damage low, and then also the chronic fatigue. Oh my gosh. So these are sort of long-term things, and you guys are all like, yada, yada, yeah, we know, be healthy, you won't have these things. But let's talk about what happens in the short term when you have free radical buildup, and I'm gonna go ahead and get me a bit smaller so you don't see me here, so you can see all of the slide. All right, so weight gain, chronic fatigue, and even our injured and fatigued students. Oh my gosh, right? I mean, that's kind of why we're all here, right? Because we don't want this to happen with our monkeys. So here's, as we said, just to kind of review here. Just to review, you have this normal cell, it's attacked by the free radicals, and then it oxidizes. But hang on, there is hope, because there's a way that we can neutralize the free radical damage, right? And that is with antioxidants. Okay, so one more visual here. So you've got the apple. Imagine that you cut your apple in half and you squeeze half of the apple with lemon juice, right? Lemon juice is the antioxidants, and it keeps it beautiful and fresh. And then if you look at the other side, it's that wrinkly brown because it's oxidized. That's exactly what free radicals do in the body. They keep your cell protected, they keep your cell fresh, and gets those wrinkles away, but it also protects the tissues. So where in the world can you get these antioxidants? I love this slide. Isn't this so funny? This is the free radical, and he's like, hey, hold on there. Just where do you think you're going, Mr. Free Radical? All the fruits and vegetables are like, hey, wait. So that's right, fruits and vegetables. And that's so cool because they're like right in your refrigerator and you can do this. It's so simple and natural. And it's just, let's focus on fruits and vegetables because actually 75% of diseases are preventable with good nutrition. And one of the biggest reasons is because we're neutralizing that free radical damage. So now that I've told you all about why it is that your child has more nutrition needs, let me answer your questions. Okay, a couple. Is a sports drink better or is water better? Here's what you need to know. If it's a one-time event or practice that's like 60 to 90 minutes and that's it, water's just fine. However, if it's going to be going greater than 60 minutes, your child sweats a lot, use your judgment there, or they have multiple events like throughout a tournament or throughout the day, then definitely sipping a sports drink is fine. But under 60 minutes, definitely water is just great. Okay. Number 2, when and what should my child eat before a practice or game? So now here's where you're going to want to start taking some screenshots because here's some great information. All right, so we definitely know that 2 hours before a game, maybe 2.5 or 3, depending on how big the meal is, you want to have your last meal. Okay, and that last meal should be, and I'll give you some examples, are a balance of protein, vegetables and fruit, and starch. Not high fat, right? So we're not going to do fast food here because that's going to sit in the stomach and won't be able to be utilized for that event. It also cause some gastric distress, could leave somebody in the bathroom instead of on the court. And then 30 minutes before the event, they can have a high carbohydrate, maybe even a little moderate protein snack. And that would be like apple and maybe some turkey. Okay. And you're like, but my child doesn't eat apples and turkeys. That's fine. We'll get to that later. Okay. One note on meals. This is just kind of like one of my little tips here. It is very challenging for children to get a lot of protein throughout the day. So I really encourage you, if you can, to get that child to have a very high protein meal. And some examples here are eggs. You can take a tortilla and fill it with something way more simple than what this picture is, but you get the idea. There's some fill with whatever your child likes. I'll give you some ideas in a little bit. Absolutely love the Juice Plus Complete smoothies. Maybe you have a smoothie recipe that you already like. One of my other things that are awesome to be even frozen and that your own kids can make are complete protein pancakes. Here's a recipe. You can screenshot that. I'll move my picture so it's easier for you to screenshot. There you go. Okay, now here's also a couple ideas of what you can put in your tortilla. These can be for breakfast, lunch, but you pick a holder, whether it's a whole grain bread, a wrap, or a pita. And again, if you get that freebie from me, you're gonna know what is the best kind of bread that you should be buying. Then you just fill it with something your child likes. You add a spread, a fruit or a veggie, maybe even a little fun snack. A little tip that we've instituted in my house since my kids were super small is we always say the fun snack is there, and we typically say eat the rest first and then the fun snack last. It might work for you. Okay, so some other snacks that are fantastic. Of course, we've got a Juice Plus Complete whole food bar, and anything that is whole food is absolutely best. They can have a smoothie, of course, or these are super fun. These are energy bites. I also love these protein muffins, or like yogurt and fruit, something like that. Now, one of the reasons I love these energy bites and protein muffins is because they can be frozen ahead of time, and we'll talk more about some tips on that. Okay, so here's another slide. Actually, this comes from our Shred 10 lifestyle program, And these are some different snack ideas. You might want to get a screenshot of that. And anything that your child enjoys. Okay, moving on. Okay, but you're like, oh my gosh, Denise, what about my kid? All right, listen up. First, you need to start with, what the heck, what foods does my kid like? And if there's 3 foods that your child likes, then those are the 3 foods that you start with, right? And you also have to ask yourself, what the heck is easy for you? Because if you're a stressed out mom, dad, coach, it's not going to work. And also really consider what will provide a source of protein and carbohydrates. So, if you have a child who only likes bagels, let's say, then I would encourage you to start looking for some products. And if you need some help, I'm here to help you, that have like protein bagels. So, or maybe you have a child who will only eat pancakes. Well, maybe we can come up with a way that you can easily make, add something to that pancake to make it your own, or you can find a product that has protein in it so that you get the mix of those macronutrients so that your child can actually survive. Of course, we need more than just protein, carbohydrates, and fat. We need not just macronutrients, we need like what's called micronutrients, which are a whole bunch of other nutrients, but we've got to start with the macros, okay? But I've got a shortcut for you to get the micros. And then, also what fruits or veggies do you like? And they might say, well, my child only likes bananas and grapes. Well, fantastic. You've got 2 then. All right, so don't stress here. All right, let's keep it simple, silly. All right, let me get you into some of my really simple tips here. The first one is make freezable snacks ahead. Okay, so when you do have the time and your child, like my 13-year-old can make a lot of this stuff. And you can think of energy balls. When you have the time, make things that are freezable. Make freezable snacks ahead. Think energy balls, protein pancakes, protein muffins. I've got awesome recipes for all of these. Happy to share them with you. Okay, let's take some other shortcuts. Buy pre-cut vegetables. Look in the produce aisle and some single-serve dips, things hummus, nut butters, or guacamole. Pack easy-to-travel fruits, easy things that are like oranges and apples and bananas, that you can just hold. So, I just want to tell you guys, I was never that mom to bring let me go back. I was never that mom to bring, like, when we were out, here's some strawberries that I cut and washed, and now we packed them. Oh my gosh. We ate that stuff at home, but I was just not that mom. It was just too much work to actually pack out of the house. And that's okay. Buy single-serve packages of some whole grain crackers or natural chips. You want to think things like potato chips or tortilla chips. Things like, if you look at potato chips, corn, salt, and oil, totally natural. Tortilla chips, corn, salt, and oil, totally natural. Definitely awesome things. And again, my label reading workshop, which is super short, will tell you about what are the best crackers that you can find so that you can analyze any cracker and be able to decide if it's something you want your child to have. Also, please ask for some help and suggestions, and absolutely use shortcuts. Momming is hard enough. Let's make this easy and add a whole food supplement like Juice Plus. Let's make life easy. I'll have more on that. But I have to tell you, there is no shortcut to packing and preparing. It's just going to have to be the way it is. But make it as simple as you possibly can. Get your child involved with it and have them help you. And make sure you've got that cooler. Okay. And I am happy to go through anything with you so we can have a customized program for you. All right, so listen, guys. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be perfect. Don't stress over variety. If your kid's eating the same darn thing over and over and over, okay, I think my son eats like 6 apples a day. It's just going to happen. And oh my gosh, I learned this the hard way. Don't force your child to try new foods when you are like on the go and in the moment, because here's what happens. You run the risk, maybe this doesn't happen to you, but it happens to me. You run the risk of them opening their dinner or their snack or whatever, and they say, what's this? And they don't want it. I didn't ask for this. And they give it back to you and they won't eat anything. And then what do you end up doing? You end up panicking, doing drive-through, doing like something just so your child will eat, and you're angry and everybody's got like more chaos. So don't try that stuff while you're on the go and when you absolutely need them to eat. And when you're feeling at a loss, do not stress. Just come to me. I'll help you out. Okay. So another one of your questions. What about protein powders? And I'm going to let you answer this question yourself. So typically the very most protein powders tend to be a whey protein versus a plant protein. And so I'm going to ask you, which would you prefer your child to have? And you, frankly, would you rather something that's hard to digest or easy to digest? Something that causes bloating, something that's low or something that is low glycemic and keeps your blood sugar stable? Would you like something that adds acidity to your body, or something that's alkaline? And you might not know what that is, so just forget that if you don't understand that. Would you like something that promotes inflammation or reduces inflammation? Would you like something that contains allergens or something that's gluten-free, dairy-free? Would you like some added colors and artificial sweeteners, or would you prefer something that's like free of all of those things? Well, I think I know your answer, and if you have a different answer than what I think, then you probably won't raise your hand anyway. One I absolutely recommend is Juice Plus Complete. It's 14 superfoods. It has 8 grams of fiber. Holy cannoli. You only need like 25 in a day, so your child's getting a third of their fiber needs. Well, that's an adult's fiber needs in one meal. And 13 grams of plant protein, highly absorbed. And I love that it contains, well, here we go. Broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, chickpea, millet, quinoa, amaranth, pea protein, rice protein, and water-washed soy. I'm not sure which one of those ingredients gets you more excited, but for me, I love that my children are eating broccoli sprouts and alfalfa sprouts. I just think that's so funny, and they don't even know it. It is vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, stabilizes your blood sugar. Before we move on, I do want to tell you that the water-washed soy, sometimes people are like, well, I was told not to have soy. You know, I'm not going to enter into that controversy because I don't know. All I do is I turn to the people who do know. And if you look at an oncologist at Emory University, Omer Kukik, he says, we now have evidence that soy foods not only prevent breast cancer, but also benefit women who have cancer. Okay, and here's the other thing, is that this Juice Plus Complete was used in some research at MD Anderson with their ovarian cancer survivors. So that is what I know. All right, so what about a multivitamin? A lot of people ask that as well. All right, so multivitamin versus whole food. Again, I'll let you answer the question. Would you rather your child get, I don't know, up to maybe 100 different nutrients or more? So if we're just looking at that, these are the first 400 nutrients in an apple. If I were going to show you all 10,000 nutrients, there'd be 26 more slides like this. The thing is that our body knows what to do with whole food as opposed to something that's made in a lab, which is a multivitamin. So you guys can decide that. So that is why I look to whole food. I am a so whole food person, and I want you to look at Juice Plus. So you get all of these fruits and vegetables as a way to bridge that gap between what your child should be eating and what they are eating. And we'll get more into that. But here's what you get: asparagus, cherry, apple, beet, peach, pineapple, lemon peel, cranberry, date, orange, mango, prune, kale, parsley, carrot, spinach, tomato, garlic, lemon peel, rice bran, cabbage, beet, and broccoli, artichoke, bilberry, blackberry, blackcurrant, cranberry, cocoa, blueberry, elderberry, Concord grape, pomegranate, and raspberry. And then we also have an omega blend that is 100% plant-based. The thing is that all of this produce is picked at the peak of ripeness, so the nutrition stays intact. And we also have the peels, the leaves, and the seeds that are juiced and dehydrated. It's just like juicing, which I'm way too lazy to juice and way too frugal to juice. It's juicing and then the water and sugar removed, which just leaves the powder. And then they're either put in capsules or in a chewable, which you'll see more of later. And you should also know that our omega blend is 100% vegan. It bypasses the fish. It goes straight to the algae, the berries, and the seeds. So it's the algae. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit about my Juice Plus story. And when I heard about Juice Plus, I heard about it years and years and years before I became a mom. And my husband and I have been taking it forever. I was most interested in it for him. But this is the story that really highlights, oh my gosh, I always say Juice Plus found me before I knew I needed it. And this is my son, Max. And he was adopted at 18 months old. When he came home, he was 21 pounds. He was pretty sick. And when we took him to the doctor, the pediatrician, for the first time, they said, oh, your little monkey is malnourished. Yeah. So, you know, as a mom, hearing that your child is malnourished, you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, what the heck am I going to do? The beautiful thing is that I did have Juice Plus in my back pocket. They just told us to take him home, feed him and love him. And here's what happened. So 4 months later, this is Max looking way, way, way better. What I did was I opened the capsules. He wasn't able to chew at that time. He just didn't have the palate for crunchy foods or even the gummies. So I just opened capsules and I would put them in anything he would eat, applesauce, yogurt. He took a bottle at the time. I would just sprinkle it in there and shake that up. And then once he started to have a taste for thicker or being able to chew foods, you know, I'd put it in peanut butter and jelly inside. I would put it inside, you know, mix it in ketchup and put it on hot dogs, anything. And so you can see that there's Max the day that he came home with his older brother, Roman. And here's the boys later on that summer. So that was about 3 months later. And then this is us when we went to Disney a couple years ago. So this is not a recent picture of us. But, you know, that is just the power of nutrition. And who doesn't want that for their kids? Oh, gosh. So, you know, as I said, my husband and I had been taking Juice Plus years and years before that. And I just frankly wasn't interested the first time that I heard about it. I was so skeptical. And what changed my mind was some research. And I'm going to just really briefly go through the research with you because, you know, that's the only reason why I even decided to take Juice Plus or even give it to my children, because I want to know what's going to happen in their body. Okay, so here's some really fun stuff that was done on some trained men. They did 7 months of training. This is like a military group. So you can think of your child like in season, when they're in season. Of course, they don't go 7 months. Or you can think of yourself if you do like marathon training or any sort of training that's over a long period of time. Here's what tends to happen. The blue group is baseline, okay? Here's what tends to happen at baseline. Here's where you are with your oxidative damage, which we already told you about. And then after 7 months of training, what happens, this green line, is what happens 7 months after training, okay? So it goes up, of course, because the body cannot neutralize, but neutralize all of those free radicals that you're creating from the training. Well, if you look here, this is what happened to the group that took Juice Plus after 7 months. Their oxidative stress actually went down. I also want to talk to you a little bit about inflammation. If any of you have chronic discomfort or joint pain, it could be inflammation, and that could be any of your itises like arthritis. So at baseline, these men had a specific amount of inflammation. Well, after, of course, it went up. But we see even with all of that training with the Juice Plus group, it even decreased. So whereas the normal amount of training would cause them all of that chronic discomfort and inflammation, it actually was neutralized. Holy cow, who wouldn't want that? I also want to tell you that during this 7 months training, the flu went through the barracks. And, you know, although nobody knew who was taking Juice Plus, this is a double-blind placebo-controlled study, although nobody knew who was taking Juice Plus and who was taking the placebo, which is just an exact-looking sugar pill, they kind of started to know when the men got sick and how many days that they lost of work. And you see that it was over 60 days that the group lost that was not taking Juice Plus, and just a bit over 40. So almost a third less, which I think is so important. Absolutely. So again, here's the oxidative stress at baseline. Here's what typically happens. And then here's what happened when they had Juice Plus. What I love about this is one exercise session. And this is right here, the very first part is the amount of oxidative damage that is in the body before an exercise session. After an exercise session is the second point. 30 minutes after an exercise session, and then 30 hours later. What you want to look at is this green line. And this very last point is that 30 hours later, I don't know about you, but usually most people are back training 30 hours later. And this thing is that if you look where that is at baseline, they're actually starting more damaged their next exercise session or their next training session, not fully recovered. And that is why you need Juice Plus. And that is why your athlete's nutrition needs are so great, is because they need to recover quickly so that to be their best, they can train again hard. Okay, so again, let's get rid of all that oxidative damage so that you don't have to experience this long term or all of this short term, which is the weight gain, the fatigue, the injury, which is our most important. Okay, well, this is why the U.S. volleyball team has adopted Juice Plus as their official U.S. supplement. You should know that that Juice Plus is what's called NSF certified, which means that it has absolutely no banned substances in it. So our Olympians can take it without any risk of having something that in there that will lead them to not be able to participate. Okay, a couple other athletes. We've got a two-time Super Bowl, Ricky Prohl, Jason Fowler. You might know some of these. Brittany, she's on the U.S. Olympic team for volleyball. I'll go back to that. Zane Grothy, he's an Olympian. And we also have Shannon Miller and Winter Vinicki. So we've got so many people who are to choose to use Juice Plus because it makes them better. But here's the thing, is nobody really cares about those people. But what we do care about is your child. So let me tell you a little bit about a program that Juice Plus runs, and it's called the Healthy Start for Families, where your child can get Juice Plus for free.
Our Healthy Starts for Families program is a wellness initiative to inspire healthy living at home and teach families how to increase their nutrition by getting in more fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. New dietary guidelines recommend that we eat 7 to 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables every day. Being parents ourselves, we know this can be difficult to obtain for a few number of reasons. Picky eaters, limited budgets, busy schedules, or lack of access to fresh produce. This is where Juice Plus steps in and bridges the gap. Fruits and vegetables have an incredible amount of nutrition in them, which is why we figured out a way to take 30 different fruits and veggies, put them into a giant blender, peels, pits, seeds, everything, and grind them down. Then we remove the water and sugar so the final product is raw, powdered nutrition from those fruits and vegetables in a capsule or chewable. The coolest thing is that when you have a child between the ages of 4 years old through college age, they qualify to get this Juice Plus for free for 4 continuous years when an adult is ordering as well. What we noticed with the families that started the Healthy Starts program is that they started to look at other areas of their life too. So what happened is they began to drink more water, they ate less sweets, missed less school, and weren't sick as often, to name a few. Every family's experience is different. When we asked a group of moms what they had noticed since starting their families on Juice Plus, this is what they said.
Okay, so I'm going to just fast forward through all the stories, but you guys can watch this. I will link it below so you can watch all the stories.
Always easy, but good nutrition can be. Every parent and child that enrolls in the Healthy Starts program receives these family resources: Start Strong book for kids, sticker charts, recipe books, and healthy living support group via Facebook. Do you have a child or know of a child that could benefit from adding in more nutrition? Sign up for the Healthy Starts program and begin this one simple change to a healthier lifestyle.
Let me tell you more about this. Okay, so
Our Healthy Starts
Let me tell you a little bit more about Juice Plus. Okay, so we have all of these different packages that are happy Juice Plus families we can look up. But I'm not going to go through all of those today. Today, I'm just going to talk to you about what you just heard about, which is the Healthy Starts for Families program, because that is why we're here, right? We're here to talk about kids. Essentially, when an adult decides that they want to add Juice Plus to their life, the child's product is free. Yes, you heard that correct. All kids between the ages of 4 and 18 and all full-time college students get their Juice Plus free. Well, you do pay the $1.75 shipping. Free for up to 4 years. Yes, you heard it right. 4 years. And here's the other thing, is that adult does not necessarily need to be a parent. It can be anybody who's in the child's life. It can be a grandparent. I have many Healthy Starts for Families, or families who maybe there's mom and dad, but then they have extra kids. And so it's grandma and grandpa who are sponsoring that younger child and then giving that free product to the younger child. So here's what, all the details about the Healthy Starts for Families program. Okay, so you get over 20 fruits and vegetables in your child in under 60 seconds. I can't shop for food that fast. I can't get it out of my refrigerator that fast. I can't chop it that fast, and certainly they would never eat it that fast. I get to do all of this without fighting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're delicious. The chewables are delicious. Whoever invited you to see this, they will get you some so you can try them. You can start this next week. This isn't next month. This isn't something that we have to do anything with. It's very, very simple. The order can be placed and you can be receiving your Juice Plus in literally, they say 7 to 10 days, but it usually comes in 5. You are that parent that has that secret weapon. You no longer have to feel at a loss. You have the secret weapon. You know how to take care of the nutrition needs of your child. You become that go-to parent. Don't we always know that parent who's like got it together, who always has Kleenex with them? I always wanted to be that mom who like carried Kleenex, or who always has like a Band-Aid, or who always has hand sanitizer. I've never was that mom. You now become that go-to parent who's got that solution when people say, hey, what do you do when your kids won't eat well? You say, I've got Juice Plus. Done. Check. The best part though, guys, is that we get to avoid burnout with our kids. They get to enjoy their sports rather than being beaten down by them. And just because they're going to be nutritionally nourished, guess what? It's under 90 cents a day. Under 90 cents for you and for your child. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of embarrassing, but I could lose 90 cents and really couldn't care less, right? Keep the change, even if it's 90 cents. Round up. You know, I'm giving it away to other people. Here I can give it to my child. And one thing that I want you to really take me up on is that I am invested in your results. I always say that when families start this, you have locked arms with me, and I now become very much invested in what's going on in your child. I try to give you solutions so that you can live the healthiest life you can in simple ways. You are not doing this alone. You don't have to do this alone. And if I don't know the answer, I'll certainly find that answer for you. Well, what is this? So all of that, right? You want to screenshot that? Send that to your friends? Okay. Now, what's really, really exciting is that the company has decided to upgrade all of our Healthy Starts for Families to what we call the Completely Balanced program, okay, at no additional charge. So when you decide to get this Healthy Starts for Family, you now have the option to add on a free bag. It's 15 servings of our plant-based complete. Okay, so just to review, this offer, well, it was supposed to just be for the summer, has been extended through December 31st. Here is what you get. You add on you for Juice Plus, okay? So you either choose on this side the fruits and the veggies or the fruits, the veggies, and the berries. My family does the fruits, the veggies, and the berries, but you can decide what's best for you guys. Your child gets their Juice Plus free for up to 4 years, and then you get the opportunity to try a bag of complete. You can pick chocolate or vanilla. no charge. There's a $5 shipping fee on that, but that's it. So you can make all those protein pancakes, you can make those energy balls, you can just go bananas, get your freezer stocked up. You'll be set for the entire season, and you can even be making smoothies and using those for your breakfast. I have so many parents who say, oh, I don't eat breakfast. And I'm like, you don't have to eat it. How about you sip it, right? How about that one? So here's Jerry Rice. Oh my gosh. Like maybe I'm dating myself now. Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can accomplish what others can't, right? That's what our coaches always like to hear. But you know what? I'm talking to you guys as parents. My goal is that they grow into teens and they still enjoy moving and their sport. They're not burnt out, and they just turn into adults who know how to take care of themselves. You guys, this is where we're setting our kids up for now. And so your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. So I hope that you guys got some great information today. I hope if there's anything that I can do, you will let me know, and please get back to the person who invited you. Have an awesome day.